night, everybody. It's after midnight here in Ohio. Just trying to knock out another video. Trying to make this kind of fast and to the point, brief. And just trying to get my videos going and get stuff rolling here for mental health. We're going to be talking about narcissism in here, narcissist people. And I think each video I do is just going to be something different, I think, different topics. Just keep pumping them out. Maybe the next one will be about abuse and stuff like that. Hopefully I can bring people into this, different people, or who knows, different ones. Or somebody that's been through stuff like me and like others. Someone, who's been through it. Same thing, and had stuff done to it. And so yeah, we're going to keep rolling. I'd like to do some stuff outside as well. I just try to make a video outside, not always in here, but I'm always, busy doing stuff out there around the yard and getting back in the swing of stuff. I'm coming out of a dark period of 2.5 years of depression and this darkness. It was bad. It's like I was just in a dead zone, dead in the water. I got my cat out here. Gotta try and keep him out here in the patio so he don't wake me up at 5 in the morning or whatever. Like he wants some packets of food, tuna or chicken and whatnot. Anyways, gonna try and just roll with these videos and do some outside and things like that. But we're gonna just talk about narcissism in here. So I wanted to do a practice video and made sure everything showed up the same, that you can read it. So narcissism, narcissistic, narcissist. Pretty much 3 different ways to say it or spell it. And they all mean the same thing. So, we're talking about narcissism. Oh, here he comes. Interrupting the video. Talking about that as a definition, and then pretty much describing somebody as narcissistic or a narcissist. They all mean the same thing. So we're talking about someone with this bad attitude and just a bad attitude and everything that never goes away. I don't think it's curable at all. It's not like, depression or anything else, anxiety. It's a big-time personality disorder. You all can agree with it. And you can't even have a normal conversation with these people or family members, whoever they might be. In my case, it's a family member. It's my father. We've had this father and son not so good relationship. Always been competition between us. Back and forth. Me trying to be a man and trying to do things and just be a man. Having my own opinions, my own thoughts, all kinds of stuff. And then him going against that and thinking, my ideas are dumb or my opinions, blah, blah, blah. I can't have opinions, can't have these things. I'm not allowed, it's frowned upon, whatever. He has to talk over me, or sometimes both of the parents or family members. They talk over you. like you're just somebody, you know, just someone. They talk over you, and like you have no ground to stand on. They, you know, got no say, can't speak up, no opinions. It's the way it's always been. So I've had to fight. I don't know why. Don't know why it's been like that, but he always says it's like talking to a tree with us or me, anybody, talking to a tree. Well, same thing with him. Pretty much, he says things that have to do with him, like in the first place. Like ones like this, narcissist, will talk about other people, someone else, but the issues and habits they have, the way they act and sound, is they're projecting it on us, the other person. And, you know, whether you're a girl or a guy in a situation or in the relationship, the person's doing this, but they turn it around all the time, turn it around. They project it on you. So it's like bouncing off a tree or a wall. So like anything you say against him, against them, it's like it just bounces back at you, like you're just hitting a damn tennis ball off the wall. That's all it is. Boom, boom, boom. So it's like you can't even win. So it's just a major disorder. And it's just, I don't think there's any medicine for it out there. I mean, what the heck would medicine do for it, you know? It's not like anxiety or depression or nothing like that, schizophrenia. How is medicine gonna fix a personality? It can't. I don't think it can, you know. I've been a fitness trainer, massage therapist, done landscaping and all that stuff, been into health and motivation and all this stuff, not been a doctor, but studied psychology and all kinds of stuff at Stark State here in Ohio, down in Canton. Not to mention just studied the whole body, between fitness training and massage. You know, you learn all kinds of stuff. Been doing it since high school. And the brain. And then my experience going through the 2.5 year of like depression, probably bipolar depression, I don't know, and anhedonia depression. So I've had that experience. I've been there and dealing with this with my dad. And my mom's sort of kind of fallen into that habit too because of him and being married to him, I think, you know. She's been overprotective with me. You know, kind of hindering me on stuff, you know. I've been told I've been babied a lot, sheltered and everything. And it's true. So it's not, you know, it sucks to be told those things, but it's true. They just choose not to get help. They don't want to get help and be self-aware of how they act, how they are, what they say, what they do. No self-awareness. I've become self-aware. I've always been that way, but through this situation I've been through, and I had a spiritual awakening where you just open up to God and open up to the world, the universe, and look at it differently, and see the bigger picture, that this is all material here, materialistic. We're humans. This is flesh. We're a spirit in the flesh, okay? And just like Jesus and stuff like that. That's all it is, nothing more, nothing less. We come here to learn lessons and have experiences in that. Maybe we choose this somehow and we don't know it, you know, or, you know, God chooses it and gives us like a life number, a soul number. If you watch that Rhode Island medium lady, Teresa, she's talked about that. Well, no, I think it was Kim Russo. There's Kim Russo also, you know, celebrity medium. I think she's the one that talked about that, but they both believe in that type of stuff, you know, and past lives and our loved ones and all that. And then, you know, there's good ones around here too and stuff like that. But you know, these people won't ever change no matter what. No matter how much you hope and wish, they won't change. It sucks. Like there's no cure. You know, like there's no vitamins and pills to take. They have to have self-awareness. If they or him, if he were to experience a spiritual awakening like I have, or Catholics do, he wouldn't know how to handle it, because I had a hard time getting used to all this and still am. He would like all of a sudden start thinking about everything he's done and said. That's exactly what happened to me. I pretty much reflected all the way back to the beginning of my life and what I did and said, and to the present. And it's like I cleared out my whole head. I got back on Facebook talking to everybody, got my identity back and stuff, knew who I was, and got my confidence back, self-esteem, felt good. And so it's been a month. I'm exercising, building up, using my weights, running. He's tearing up that bench over there. But getting the blood pressure going, the heart rate going, everything flowing to the head, getting nutrients, blah, blah, blah. But I've had this awakening. So unless you have that, you're not self-aware. You don't know what's going on in this world. And you don't look at things. What? You know, again, it can be a family member, like in my case. It can be a friend out there, someone you work with, anybody. You know, it's not good. Like, we should not be around these people. It's so toxic and bad. And it's like a disease in itself. And it's like jealousy. Jealousy is another disease. Being jealous of somebody, you either want what they have or you don't want them to have anything at all because you don't have it and stuff. It's just bad. But these people will play victim big time. We're the victim, but they like to be the victim. They turn things around and blame stuff on us for doing it to them, or whatever's happened to them, or because their stress, or because they lost something, or they got hurt, or something happened to the car, or something got scratched, broken, you name it. Something happens, but they have to blame somebody else because they can't have enough balls, guts, decency to admit, okay, I scratched this, I did this, I made this mistake, or I said this and I'm sorry, whatever. They can't do it. They'll never do it. Okay? And it can be passed down, through family members, or one family member to another, and the way he grew up, how he grew up, could be a big factor and stuff. We talk about it all the time. Me and my mother, we talk about that all the time. So, yeah, they'll just turn things around and play victim. It's terrible. All the time. But denial, they deny everything that they said and did. And when you question them about it and bring it up, they just deny. No, I didn't say that. No, I didn't do that. No, I didn't put that there. Somebody else must have did it, or you did it. I mean, it just goes on and on. Gaslighting, same thing. I didn't come to term. I didn't learn or think about these terms back then. Not even 5 years ago, 4 years ago, or in my 20s. I didn't think about these terms, gaslighting and stuff like that. I just knew he was in denial and stuff like that. You can't even talk to him because he denies stuff. But the gaslighting is terrible. Everything you say and try to question the person about, they gaslight you. They manipulate you. Again, same thing. They'll say stuff and turn it around on you. Use stuff against you. Use money against you. Something they paid for and bought you. They use it against you. It's like they I don't know about all of them, but again, my father, it's like he's keeping a list of all my mistakes I've made in my life, like a journal in his head or something. There's another way or term I describe it, but it's like he's keeping score or whatever, keeping tabs. So it's like they can do that too. You know, like things just keep adding up until situation comes up, something bad happens, or you get into like the worst argument ever, and he starts bringing these things up like, wow, you know, you should have stayed at this job, or if you didn't do this, then that wouldn't have happened. If you made this decision, then that wouldn't have happened. If you saved money, or got with these people, or blah, blah, blah. And it's all manipulation, you know, like finding things and reasons to put against you instead of letting it go. Just letting it go and let me deal with that, what I've done. Letting us deal with it. And and I mean, you know, what else you gotta say? Just using stuff against us, not letting us have an opinion or think for ourselves, or, you know, admit anything. And that's something they won't do ever. Admit themselves, admit stuff. So, yeah, using money, using anything against you, denying anything that's said. They switch stuff on you. They like to trick you. You know, like you're looking for a tape measure or something, and say like it wasn't sitting here a minute ago or at all, and all of a sudden it shows up. Like say if he was using it or something, the person was using it, all of a sudden it shows up, and they'll say, well, it's been there the whole time. You're blind, or you didn't see it, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's manipulation, or like tricking you. Or you just knew it was there, and they took it, and then they put it back, or whatever. So it happens. Anything like that. Anything you can think of, that's going on. You know, anything in the house, or leaving messes, doing stuff. Just denying everything of what they said. Or you're in a marriage, a bad marriage or relationship, and they deny that they were cheating or talking to another girl or guy. You know, and won't let you look at their phone. They hide their phone, they hide stuff, they put it face down. They show signs that they're up to something, okay? Up to something, doing something. Sneaking, doing stuff. And it's not good. These are things you gotta look at, pick up on. Try to have intuition on these things and look around and think about it. But the criticism is bad. Been criticized all my life for everything I do. I've done crafting, building stuff, you know, just did different things outside. I've done the fitness training. I've done massage. I had a fitness studio in our town, tried to give that a go. I've just tried a bunch of stuff, but again, it like adds all up, and it's like he's keeping a record to just kind of use it every time a situation comes up or we argue, to use it, you know, like, wow, you should have done this and done that and stuck with this job and blah, blah, blah. Should have, would have, could have. You know, it's not good. And then it makes you act like that. And that's all they tried to do, is put guilt in us and these excuses and all kinds of stuff when you're trying to forget about it, you know, and move on. So, but, you know, every time I was making stuff, building things, you know, he would notice it and come by and say, well, you know, it looks like shit, looks like crap. You know, that looks crooked, you know, it needs to be straighter. It needs to be straighter. You know, you should write a book on how to make stuff straight. You know, write a book, or I mean, read a book and stuff. Well, if he took carpentry and stuff like that, he should have been one to show me and tell me. You know, not tell me to read a book and stuff. And that's why we got YouTube and all kinds of stuff. So I'm already figuring stuff out and Googling. But he likes to think it's critical. No, it's he likes to think it's constructive criticism. Nope. Constructive criticism, and you look it up, is they might say something like that to you about something being crooked and not right and looks stupid, whatever. You know, stuff doesn't look right or whatever. But it's followed, like a suggestion is followed by that. Like, you know, okay, that looks like crap, or that's crooked, whatever, that needs to be better. Here's how you do it. Here's what you do. You do it like this, you know, put it like this, put it like that, whatever. Do this, you know, here's how you do it. You know, suggestions, you know, and, you know, whether it's friends or whoever, you know, there's a difference. Not, you know, looks like shit, looks like crooked, and you need to read a book, blah, 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 putting you down, putting me down. That's not the right criticism. That's like insults. That's it. Plain and simple. So, just doesn't know the difference. And it's sad. It's frustrating in itself. But, I mean, that's pretty much in a nutshell to explain that. Just basically, you know, trying to suggest to people and help people and as much as you can, we can, and bring awareness about all this stuff. Mental health and, you know, the narcissism, other disorders people are going through, disabilities. But you need to be aware of these things and pick up cues, try to have some intuition. I didn't have these things then, you know, 3, 4, or 5 years ago, as I do now. Through the situations, it's really taught me, so I think that's why. Whether it was supposed to happen or not, it did. But yep. Just trying to think what else I want to say. You know, again, whether it's in a bad marriage or relationship, it's a lot harder on girls, women, than it is men. But I got that personality and everything. I was born in December, so I'm not one of those guys that just, you know, just could care less and tell people to F off and everything else. I'm just not that guy. I try to be in between and assertive, and that's the way it is. But, you know, I could be that guy, and I only have some friends, you know, and not be on Facebook and things like that, you know. I know somebody like that just don't have a Facebook and don't care and stuff like that. My dad has his Facebook, but he don't socialize and get on there. He gets on there and looks around, but that's about it. He can't do what I do and talk and write, put myself out there, you know, or look for help and stuff like that, and show that I'm human. So he can't do that, but whatever. But look for these cues, this stuff. Try to pick it up look up what these words mean, and you'll see. And once you learn the definition of these things, and you'll start picking it up, like how the person acts, it will really come to you. I knew this was happening all my life. I just didn't use terms on it. I just thought, well, he denies stuff. He criticizes me. He's not happy. He's unhappy all the time and stuff like that. Yeah, those are all like symptoms of it. Okay? But the main thing is narcissism. Narcissistic. So, that'd be nice if there's a cure or something, or if there was some pill they could take. I'd drop it right in his coffee and water, and let him drink it. See if it does anything for him. But no magic pill for that. You just have to get away from it. You have to avoid it. Pick up on it and avoid it. And it's very hard for women. And it sucks. But that's why I'm doing this video and putting it out there. But if you're a woman that's been through this stuff, try to help other women and stuff like that. So, 26 minutes in, that's pretty much in a nutshell I wanted to say. Gives you a whole idea. Just got to look it up. I tried to explain this to my mom, my mother, and it's like it just goes one end and out the other too. Like trying to teach her stuff, and it's not working, not helping. It don't click. And she's in that survival mode, like just trying to survive and talk to him and stuff like that, like, survival mode. But if she had another way out, that would be different. Or, if I could provide for her and stuff, but can't do it right now. So yeah. Yuppers. Guess that's it. So, hopefully I won't, regret not saying more in this, but I will continue doing the videos and talk about different topics. Trying to do a video outside and stuff like that. And still get into my podcasting, get people involved in talking about different stuff, like besides mental health, talk about sports, talk about whatever, politics, I don't care, there's all kinds of stuff going on out there that needs talked about. But I was a miracle baby. My mom had all these miscarriages, so I'm gonna be pro-life. Sorry to say, but pro-life, conservative. And my sister and cousin can't get pregnant, so I'm gonna use those as an excuse too. So that's that. My Facebook is Adam Paul Geiger on there. I did have like a motivation page before. I deleted that and stuff like that, but I might do another one or just use this main page, where you can follow it or be a friend on there. But I will have this YouTube channel going, stuff like that. So I have a memoir book I want to try and get published, and a motivational book. I added more stuff to the memoir book and about my mom, and then, her life and miscarriages. So I reached out to some publishers. I wrote like a book proposal and a query letter you got to do, and just pretty much copied off the internet and typed it up pretty good and put a couple chapters on there and this stuff, and it's very hard. I don't know how anybody does it, or celebrities. Do not know. It's impossible. It's hard. That's why it's better to self-publish yourself. I've done that on the lulu.com site, but you got to do everything yourself. You can choose your prices and where you want to sell them at, like globally. And they'll go on Amazon and the different bookstores and Barnes & Noble. But the problem is I get foreigners calling me and being fake fake agents and stuff. I don't like it. They're saying, you know, they'll give me $300,000 or they want to do a movie. That's bullcrap. Not going to happen. They're not real because they can't even say my name right. Geiger. So they say Geiger and whatever. Can't even say it right. That's an indication, and you know, they're trying to use another person or actual company, or it's a little off, like, because I looked up a company and they kind of called it something else. So these are the things you got to look out for, but it's hard. So you're supposed to hear from like book agents like in a month or 6 weeks. So I did a few of them. Chewing up that bench over there, but yep. So I guess I'll wait on that too. I got time. So 2 years of depression and all kinds of crap, you know, and here I am, and you know, whatever. I built up so much patience and everything. You know, is what it is anymore. Life takes a lot of patience, let me tell you. But the more stuff we go through, it toughens us up. You're supposed to get stronger through this and just keep helping people, and you know, God takes us through this, I think, to teach us and so we can learn. So blah blah blah. I'm gonna probably head to bed and things like that. So just look for the next video. Please subscribe or follow, stuff like that. I do have older different videos on my channel. You can go back and look at all them and my past work and stuff. I think that's why I decided to keep this original channel, because if I did another one, you're pretty much getting to know me from this point, but you will see you'll see the gap in what happened in between here that I went through the, you know, 2.5 years of this in this situation, like near-death situation. Took some, you know, bad pills like anxiety, antihistamine pills, 25 milligram, and whacked everything out my body. My heart was doing stuff. Had panic attacks. I tried to sleep like that, you know, and wasn't breathing good, probably having apnea, and shook in bed. Like I felt myself shake, but I was like asleep doing it. And who knows how long that was. And then I just kind of like opened my eyes and came out of bed. So like stuff kind of went numb in my brain, and my muscles turned to mush. So like I atrophied myself and been like this for 2 years. So I've been lifting weights, building up, and just using this brain, stretching the brain, and I can feel it. And it affects your endurance, your heart, your strength. It's like, you know, it's like your soul left you or whatever, like you got nothing in you. That's what it's felt like my soul was like right here, you know, if that doesn't sound weird. But so you're trying to get grounded and like have your soul back. So you're grounded, you know, and feel alive, feel good, like you're alive, and have a heart pumping in there. And I wasn't feeling that before, and now I am. But I got like ear ringing and noise or whooshing going on in there. I don't know how to describe it, but it's just weird. Like something is probably still numbed up in there or turned off, or, you know, I don't know what it is. The ears are fine. I can hear and everything. I had them tested. So who knows? I don't know. But I'm going to head to bed, and please subscribe and listen and share. And all about mental health here, and other topics will be coming. So I will shoot another video soon here. Good night or good morning, wherever you're at out there. Bye-bye.